color. Like, you know how, like, Christy, how I'm always pissed that I don't get to see things. Like, I'm annoyed about it. I'm like,
Right.
oh, well, I just saw my mom's leg and it's like a little, I asked her yesterday, I'm like, ew, why does it look like that? Why is it all patchy? And then that's what just dropped into my head a little bit.
Okay.
Um,
So what does that mean? Now this goes back to she's getting clairvoyantly what he just kind of had me know. He had circulation problems.
mhm.
So now all of this has rotated back. Remember, I said in the beginning, I said his weight was a lot of his health issues. It is what is causing the swelling. It is what's causing these circulation problems. So though he was diagnosed with other things, if he had gotten his weight under control, it would have been a lot better off for him.
Christy, did something happen? I just felt, you know how it's so subtle, I always miss it, but I felt like a pang in my stomach to the right. I don't know what organ that is, but I just felt like a little, so I don't know if that attributed to his passing.
Okay, so now Jess said something that's very, she said, it's so subtle. Part of mediumship also, when you start learning it, is to slow the information down or catch it fast because it comes fast so quickly that you can ignore it or discount it. Now, I had not gotten anything about his stomach on his right side. So now I'm going back to him and I'm asking him, he's taking me to his liver.
Is that where it is?
That's where he took me. Well,
I think that's where your liver is.
okay. Yeah, my moderator is saying that's where it's at. I was like, I don't know, but he took me
Thanks,
to that side
DJ.
and Jess says hi. And I heard liver. So
Mm,
I wasn't sure. I'm not real familiar with the anatomy, but I went to that side. I was like, what is that? And I heard liver.
yeah.
So, oh, I thought it was going to be, makes sense. He is, so this is what spirit will do. In the beginning, I said almost all of his health problems related to his weight. So when Jeff said that, I went to him and he said liver. I was like, oh, are you a drinker? Did you have cirrhosis of the liver? He said fatty. Oh,
Ooh.
that makes sense. Fatty liver because he is so overweight.
And I just, when you said that, I felt rumbling like he was, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what else are you feeling in your body, Jess? You felt a lot.
Well, I just coughed, but I'm sure you know if that was me or him. Okay, let me think. Okay, I had an old teacher that his name was Mr. Martin, and for some reason I haven't thought about that guy in 30 years, and that just was put into my head. And he
You know
was,
it, spirit.
yeah. So Mr. Martin, he might have been pulling in a memory from that guy. He was an overweight man, shorter, had glasses, a little bit of a comb over, and he
Mm-hmm.
was a teacher. And he had health issues. So I'm not sure what that means.
Okay, so we have someone who about to make the claim is about to might be claiming him, but real quick, I want to sit with that for a moment, Jess. So now
Mm,
he reiterated what he looked like because that was the way I described him. So he could just be reiterating to you, yes, you have the right person. I look exactly like Christy described me. But then is he adding something else? Is there something else about Mr. Martin that is he, because you named off he's a teacher, the teacher fit? You named
mm.
out a couple of things. So does any of this extra information fit the spirit?
Only thing I thought is he obsessed over reading and he loved reading. And that was like his biggest thing. And he hated me because I never read. So it was this guy a reader or
Yes, he was a reader.
okay. Because
Okay.
I that's what I got from that then.
Okay. So now we have, who do I want? I want Bailey to unmute herself and I want Alyssa to unmute herself. Okay.
Got
So
it.
this is perfect how this
Got
happens, especially when you're doing a group reading, because even though we've given a lot of information, it still fits a couple of people, right? So now I go to the spirit and I say, give me something definitive. They had already claimed this gentleman when Jess brought in reading. So now I'm going to bring that up. Oh, okay. I just now read Bailey's comment completely. Martin Mull just recently passed away and was short with glasses. Mr. Martin.
No way. That's
Wait, sorry, you cut out at that point. What did you say?
That was the name of the person that Jess brought up was Mr. Martin.
Yeah, when she said Martin, I remembered, I'm like, oh God, like, and you know me, for some reason, I always connect with dead celebrities somehow. So I was like, when she said Martin, I was like, oh my God, Martin Mull kind of had that thinning hair, glasses, short. He just recently passed away of pancreatic cancer. And I was like, oh shit. I don't know if he was overweight in his later years, because obviously I wouldn't have seen him, but I'm just like, oh damn, that's, and
So
like
Martin Mull
reading,
is,
like I could
I
see
don't even
like
know who
reading
that is.
scripts and everything.
I don't
He
even know
was
who that is.
um I think he was in like Roseanne. He was in Arrested Development. He was on the show Veep. He's always kind of one of those like character actors.
was he the older, funnier guy who always like drank with a big mug on Veep? I feel like
On Veep? No, that's Ben. That was I don't
that was
remember. I don't remember that
Ben.
actor's actual
Y'all
name.
are
That's
like
Ben. No,
talking a
he
different
on
language.
Veep. Yeah, on Veep, he was the one that they sent to Nevada to recount the ballots, and he and on the show he had like dementia. He was always forgetting things, like
Oh
in those
yes,
episodes. Remember? Because
yes,
and then like he had worked in the White House forever. Okay, yeah,
yes.
that was his character in Veep.
Okay,
So
that's funny. You got to watch Veep,
My
guys.
moderator just showed me a picture. I don't watch TV. I don't keep up with celebrities. I had no idea when she said Martin Mull. I thought it was because Bailey used to live right here in the Omaha, Nebraska area where I am. And I thought Martin Mull was maybe someone local who I should know.
oh no, he's a celebrity. But now that you see the picture, like he's famous, but not somebody you just pull out of your head.
Right. Okay. So now,
Like,
honestly, what is happening right now, as a medium, I'm in my head like, what the hell is going on here? Because I'm very particular about the spirits that step up. They need to be connected to us somehow. Like we need to be able to. So I'm asking this guy to show me definitively who you are. I don't. Okay. This is one of those times as a medium, you're just kind of like, I don't even know what's going on right here. This guy will not move. I'm telling you that. So as I was trying to move him out of the way and give me more information about who he was, he stood like this, like he's done. He's not giving me any more information.
Yeah,
That is my sign that we have identified who we have.
he's making my feet now feel like they're stuck.
Exactly. I felt like I was stuck in the chair and I looked at him and he did this, crossed his arms, like I'm not moving. And when I started hitting him with my energy to get more information, he put a wall up like, we're done now. Okay, so now, what about the H name in the beginning? Honestly, I don't know. Without knowing him more closely, I don't know what the H name is around him. My husband's Harry Parkinson. Okay, very good. Then I know exactly what happened. So what? Okay, so someone put on here, Jess, my husband's grandpa was Harry Parkinson's with heavy legs. Okay, I just went through this with actually a good friend of mine. I was live and I was bringing up a spirit. I thought it was her dad, but I was live on TikTok and she wasn't claiming him. And I did not see her name. Like in my head, I was like, this is Sean's dad. But she was not coming on TikTok and claiming him. And of course, all you know when you're on TikTok and live is the people scrolling through. You just see the name scrolling through. She hadn't commented. I didn't even know she was watching it. So then someone else claimed the spirit, messages spot on, everything perfect. Later, Sean texted me. I've known her since I was in middle school. And she said, I thought that was my dad. It was your dad. Why the hell didn't you claim him? And she said, well, I wasn't sure. When you snooze and you're not sure, someone else is going to take that spirit. So what happens in the spirit world when that happens? They just switch. Right? So in the beginning, I didn't have this guy. I had this hairy Parkinson's heavy. He wasn't claimed. So at this point in my head, I'm getting annoyed with spirit and they know it. And that's okay because we have a working relationship. I was annoyed. I was like, you are not being claimed. Give me something that's going to take you claimed. I'm not spending this hour reading one damn spirit. And right when I said that, Bailey popped on. So when I said that, and it will happen on TikTok, it will happen anytime you see me going live. If it's taking too long to claim the spirit, I will go to the spirit world, bring me someone else, do something to make yourself known. People are getting bored. They're here to be entertained. I need you claimed. And you can feel at that moment when you're tapping into the other side. I don't know, there's a couple of mediums on here or people that are good at reading energy. You can feel the shift, like it's like a whirlwind in the spirit world. And so what they do is they bring up someone who matches all the same information. There might be one little piece that's different, but not enough to throw off the reading. And they give me more information to say who they are. So at the moment that I'm chewing spirit out and I'm saying, y'all, I've got to be claimed, give me something definitive. That's when Jess said, oh, here's my, so they gave something else to solidify, right? Does that make sense to everyone? All right, now how I could have circumvented that, and you have seen me do it before, is I will stop the reading and I will say, whose spirit is this? And people will say, I don't know. And that's when you say, oh, I'm at this part of the screen. Which one of you does it belong to? And how many times have y'all seen me do that? And every single time, it's right where I say it is. Okay. So then I asked, oh crap, what happened? It got really big. Okay, so when I asked this guy, why are you stepping up? It's because there is a lot of leeway with Bailey. Like Bailey, this doesn't scare Bailey. I could say, Bailey, I have Jesus Christ himself. And she's like, sweet, what's he got to say? So Bailey is not someone who is scared of weird people stepping up or people who she doesn't think belongs her. Now I'm going to give her a message from him and I'm going to say, take what resonates. And I will bet money that everything he says resonates with Bailey. So now as he is stepping up, he is clairvoyantly showing me somebody walking on a very rocky path. And they're, someone's in the waiting room. Did you see that? And showing me his feet slipping. Bailey is feeling, and before I came to get that out, he showed me the tower card. Have you ever seen the tower card in tarot? He showed me the tower card.
And
Bailey feels
and I read tarot every day.
There you go. So it has a double meaning. Not only is he showing me this card in relation to Bailey's life.
This meeting is.
He is showing me that Bailey is also, that he's around Bailey. Now, he's showing me, Bailey, that you feel like you're second guessing yourself. Did I make the right decision? How do I know that? I heard in my head, did I make the right decision? And he just showed me the tower card. So you feel like the world has been pulled out, the rug's been pulled out from under you, and you're really second guessing yourself. But he's telling me to charge forward, stay the course. How do I know that? It's because he showed me someone on a path and we're looking around and he took their head and put them up and made me want to go forward. That's my symbol for stay the course. As I'm saying this, I'm getting chills over my body. So this means he wants to emphasize that a lot. He wants Bailey, and he's telling me, tell her not to second guess herself. Stop second guessing yourself, Bailey. Just because things are not, he is saying, working out the way that you had pictured them in your head, and we have all been there. We start a path and we think it's going to be one thing and it ends up being another. Just because this path is something that is not what you anticipated it being, you are still on the right path. He is showing me money, and he clairvoyantly showed me giving my last dollar away. So that tells me Bailey's worried about money. Are you worried about money, Bailey?
Hell yeah, I'm worried about money.
Who isn't worried about money nowadays, right?
Yeah, but I can get into it in a minute, but you know my situation right now.
I know part of it, but you had gotten a job.
Yes. So for everybody that doesn't know, I just recently up and moved out of Omaha back in April. I live in Puerto Rico. I quit a very well-paying job I had. And for the past few months, I've been flipping jobs a lot. I was guiding snorkel tours. I worked in a cafe, and now I have a new remote job. But through that amount of time, I have pretty much burned through my whole savings. And so luckily this remote job came right in time. The only problem is it doesn't pay a lot. So I'm literally just like every day is like, but I get to live the life I want to live. Like I get to go to the beach every day if I want. So it has its ups and downs.
That's awesome though.
Okay, so Jess, what are you getting? I can tell you just got something. What did you get? I was about to.
Oh, did I? Okay, I got like relief and like happiness, and it kind of tapped into my own situation of, even though I'm worried about money, everything else is still getting better.
Okay, Jess, I did not really put it together until you started talking and said, kind of like my situation. So this is where it gets difficult, because Spirit is giving you more synchronicities between your situation and Bailey's situation. Because again, you used to have a job where you made a ton of money. You gave up some of that money for freedom and to support your kids and be there for them during this tough time.
Yes. Half of it.
Yes, same thing. Bailey, you gave up money so you could feed your soul.
And my inner child.
Right.
So we're on that kid level.
Right. So Spirit is not, this is them coming through and saying, we're not going to let you down. I'm very much seeing that this job, like those other jobs, were just holding you over until you got this remote job. This remote job is going to hold you over until something better comes. I actually see you doing a second job in addition, something local to where you are and away from your house, in addition to this remote job. Again, I went back to him and I said, anything else? And he showed me, I don't know why he's showing, well, probably because you're by the water. I'm not a boat person. But he showed me holding the, I don't even know what it's called. The thing that steers the boat on the back, like when you have a motor in the boat. Is that rudder? What is that?
Oh, like a prop?
Rudder, prop, whatever it
The
is.
rudder.
He shows me holding it one way, like holding firm. Hold your course. Stay your course.
For some reason, my legs right now have like electricity in them. Like I want to start walking and moving. I don't know why. Like I want to get up and start walking.
I just started running again, training and running again.
That's it, because I was getting my IT band was sore, and when I used to run marathons, that makes sense. Okay.
Yep. And my right knee has been hurting me every day, but I'm just like, I don't care. I'm still running. So there you go. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks. That's why my right knee hurts now. I'm just like, ow.
Yep.
My right foot.
Yeah, this is a perfect demonstration of the difference between mediumships. Jess's body is crazy reactive.
And I'm feeling like you might need orthotics or something, because the arch of my foot is killing me, and I used to need orthotics, and that's what helped my knee. Just saying. I don't know.
There you go.
I actually was just telling my friend she needs orthotics so she can start running with me yesterday. So
weird.
Yeah.
Okay, so now Spirit used that as a double message. I was also feeling, Bailey, that you need better shoes, better orthotics or whatever. But the fact that you just mentioned it to your friend shows that this guy is around you. And how he was closing down the message is that he was showing me, I went from him and he did this and he looked behind him. So I took my energy and put it behind him. And there is like the people start with him. And when I say people, I mean spirits, because I've called spirits people. Sometimes I forget. And they just kind of lean out. So they're showing me you have a huge support team, Bailey. Your true purpose and reason for being in Puerto Rico is not going to come to fruition, and you're not going to start feeling settled for about 6 more months. All right. I want to thank this gentleman for stepping up, even though it was very odd and weird. And so
The celebrities, they always find me. It's so weird.
when I said that to
Every
him,
time.
he said I was known to be odd and weird. So
I
then
love
I was like, this is odd and weird. He's like, yeah, that basically let me know. People used to tell him that all the time, that he was odd and weird.
Christy, you
And
know,
I
it's
always pull the obscure ones too. Like when we pulled Paul Mooney last time I came to see you.
I don't even remember that.
oh my gosh. Well, you know what's weird is that's my absolute favorite show, Veep, and I will watch it all over and every all the time. So that's obscure reference that you pulled too. I'm like, oh, that's
And
random.
just
Oh, I
so we're
love
clear,
that show.
Christy
Yep.
has never heard of Veep. I've never even heard of it. Don't even know what y'all are talking about.
You would
You should.
laugh
It's Julia
your
Louis
butt
Dreyfus.
off.
It's so funny.
Every line that's written, you have to.
I'm having a surgery in I don't know, a week and a half or something. During my convalescence, maybe I'll binge watch some of it if I don't have my
Please
laptop.
do.
You'll get hooked.
I might
Yeah.
have my laptop in there working.
Each episode's only like 26 minutes, so it goes quick.
Perfect. All right. So again, now that Jess said that, there's a full circle thing coming on. Like, I've never even heard of this show. She was putting up Martin Hall. I thought it was some kind of local person in Omaha that we had both known, and because I'm terrible with names and I'd forgotten them. But so it makes sense because it's also Jess's favorite show. So she was going to be able to tap into it. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, and this is what I do a lot, is whenever the original person stepped up, who was Harry, that was not claimed. So whenever I bypassed him. He wasn't being claimed, so I bypassed him, right? But when someone mentioned that, I just in my brain to the spirit world, I said, go get him. And he just casually stepped around from the other side. Okay, but now that I'm trying to switch spirits again, I'm going back to the original one. He has to give me more information. So here's the little trick. People don't even know I do it. But if you ever see me go live, a lot of people, y'all watch me on TikTok or Instagram or whatever. If this has happened and I know a spirit has switched, and then I ask someone, have you ever seen me have someone go live? Like, I'll say, okay, go live with me. Have you ever seen that? I will give another piece of identifying information. You don't even realize I do it. Once that person comes up, I was like, okay, we have your grandpa Harry. Oh, great, great. So the heavy legs and all that fit him. He was a heavy guy. He wore glasses. So who is this? Jess, the Jess that claimed the grandpa. Can you unmute yourself?
That's me.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Jess. Okay,
Yeah.
so Jess, now, did he wear glasses and have a comb over?
He wore glasses, but he was bald.
Very good. I'll take it. Okay, so now we're going to pretend like y'all don't know everything that I'm doing behind the scenes. Now that we have switched spirits back, she's confirmed the original information, and I'm just going to him and real quick, I was about to tell y'all and he interrupted me. I'm just going back to him and say, give me something else, something that no one knows to reconfirm who you are. He's showing me a couple of things. Now, I already know he was a teacher and a coach because you said that.
Yep.
But what he is also showing me is he volunteered outside of his paid teaching and coaching with kids doing something. This gentleman really had a heart for kids. He wasn't one of these teachers and coaches that did it for the money and the accolades, even though now y'all, no one gets money and accolades in teaching. Back in the day, they used to. But he is showing me that he volunteered with kids outside of that. Do you know that to be true?
Absolutely. When he was gone, all sorts of kids stepped up and told us all the impact that he made on their lives, for sure.
Very good. All right. Now he's also showing me a headstone. He was buried?
No.
Okay. So could y'all see that it's like he's showing me a headstone, but you could probably tell by the tone of my voice, I wasn't sure he was buried. Like, why are you showing me this headstone? Jess, have you had a connected to you a young man pass who was buried?
I don't know if he was buried, to be honest. I don't think he was. I know somebody that he was like in his 40s, young. I don't,
Died suddenly, prime of his life.
yeah, definitely, but I don't think he was buried, but I don't 100% know. He was a friend of mine.
Okay, very good. So what happened here is she said, no, I wasn't convinced this guy was buried. I could tell that from the tone of my voice. I was like, where are we going here? And she's like, nope. I was like, oh, who's this headstone belong to? I thought he was going to say his wife or something, but a young man stepped up. And though you said he was 40, he looks like he's about 35, 36.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I can see that.
He looked younger than what he was.
Yep. Yep.
I'm feeling he was very, this second gentleman was very active. He is showing me being very active, working out, walking, sweating, like he was outside a lot. Do you know that to be true?
That I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay, so what he showed me is he shows me outside and he is in a yard and he is sweating and he is in shorts. I'm trying to pull him inside and he is not coming inside. That is my sign for someone who much preferred to be outside and was outside a lot more than inside.
Okay. I think he did. He might have liked to hike. It was a friend who I was really good friends with in high school that we kind of lost touch as we got older.
Okay.
So
Okay.
what his hobbies might have been as he got older, I might not know.
Okay, very good. So you could tell, now I circled back to it because I was convinced he is showing me he is outside and he is walking around and he is sweating. I tried to bring him inside, he won't come inside. So I knew what I was seeing. So I circled back with Jess, like, nope, what am I seeing here? What's going on? Okay, so you said you were friends in high school?
We were. Yep.
Yeah. Did you know he had a crush on you?
No.
How do I know that? Because he made me feel tingly when I looked at her.
Oh.
And
No, I
he is
didn't know that.
saying- And he is saying that she's only gotten more beautiful.
Aw, that's really sweet.
So now when I say, oh, she's only gotten more beautiful, he takes me from her face down to her heart.
Oh.
So that is my sign for, and he claircognizant let me know, you're starting to come into your own. He is showing that, he's showing me my symbol for boundaries. You have recently had to start putting up boundaries with people and it was hard pressed. It makes you uncomfortable because at heart, you're very sweet, easygoing, I'm just going to take it kind of person. But you realize that in this, I'm just going to take it kind of person, you were really selling your soul to the devil.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say sell your soul to the devil, there's really not a devil except for the fact that we lose ourselves. When you lose yourself, it feels like you're selling your soul to the devil. All right, Rita, Jess, are you getting anything else, Jess? We're not done with your grandfather.
Okay.
With me,
Mm-hmm.
hey, Jess, I love having two Jesses. There's got to be a reason. How random is that? No, I was just feeling, and this could be me. I like my lower back and stuff is hurting. Like I almost feel like sciatica going down my left hip.
Yeah, that's my problem right now. Yeah. I
Oh
have back pain.
no.
Right now. Yeah.
Is it down your left ass cheek?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where.
Yeah.
Damn it. Okay, so you have to, oh my gosh, I've had the same problem and yeah, I feel for you. But I was like, why did it just come back? Yep.
Okay.
I'm
So
psychic
now-
reading, I guess.
Yeah, no, which is great. I was just about to explain that to everyone. I am, oh, where did everyone go? There we go. Okay, yeah, y'all just disappeared. Y'all jumped off my screen. Who the hell did that?
Spirit did that.
Yes, they did.
Totally did.
I'm going to put him on. So that tells me right now, let me make a trickster, and he messes with someone's electronics to let himself be known. So I'm just going to park him here for a second, and I'm going to explain what just happened. I was reading here at departed loved ones, Jess was down here on psychic, which is fine. Now, what I think happened is when Jess tapped her, she went to the most important thing to Jess, right? The other Jess. Welcome. I'm gonna call
Me.
you.
Oh, call me Foster, since that's my non-asshole married name.
Okay, we'll
So
call you Foster. All right.
my maiden name. You could call
Okay,
me.
that's gonna be Foster over there. So when Foster tapped Jess, she just went to what was bothering her the most. But now that you are there with it, Jess, spirits will give you information. How can Jess make it better? Like if spirit brings it up, they're typically gonna give you something to make it better.
They brought in right away. The first thing that came in for me was there was this way that you can realign your hips, and I can show you how to do it. It's super easy, that you like push and pull, and then there's this stretch, but then other than that, it's just like taking it easy a little bit, but making sure that you stretch and realign your hips as much as you can. That's how I felt. Like, oh, I'll do that.
It makes sense because
Yeah.
the first thing that dropped into me was my chiropractor. I don't know that fancy little thing that
I go to the chiropractor a lot.
as I say, I don't know that little thing that Foster was talking about, though I need to learn it. Dropped in the chiropractor. So they're confirming the information. So what you need to do is really work on realigning your hips.
Yeah.
So how are you going to show that to us? Are you going to show it right now, or are you going to do it on a video or something like that?
I can send you a video. It's so it's just pushing and pulling this, because I've had 2 back surgeries, bad car accidents, back surgeries, but this one lady, this one time, she showed me how to do it. I can send you, or you can ask your chiropractor, or yeah, you don't want me to show you right now.
I do. Okay. It must be kind of risque. So
No,
just
it's not. I just lay on my back, but there's this like way that you push your left leg down and then you pull your right leg up at the same time. And
Okay.
then,
can we record that for us and I'll send it to Jess?
yes, as
Thank
long as, yeah, I'll record it. I'll make my daughter film me. It works.
Perfect.
So whenever spirits bring something up, there is usually a solution or acknowledgement of what you're going through. I felt like there was a solution, and you only know that just by feeling into it. Like, what are you feeling?
Yeah.
Okay. So this gentleman, your grandfather, he's being very sweet. It's just part of his personality. He was a very gracious gentleman. He knows I've spent a lot of time on this, and I'm kind of getting anxious to move to this other gentleman who just was messing
Totally
with my
fine.
hair. And he is saying, tell her I'm the one. Like all of a sudden, I started smelling Old Man cologne that's called Claire Alliance. So that tells me that your grandfather will let you know he is around by smelling him, and there's no reason to be smelling him.
Okay. Perfect.
All right. Thank you, Jess.
Thank you so much.
And thank you, Foster. But now that we're finished reading Jess, I'm going to go back to calling you Jess. Foster.
All
All
right.
right. So now this gentleman, y'all completely clicked down off of my big screen and y'all went to my laptop little icon. I was looking at a dead screen. I was like, what the heck? Happened randomly. Now, when things happen randomly, no. So instantly I was like, who did it? What y'all doing? Who did it? And this gentleman stepped up, belly laughing. So he would have been someone who would tease, but was really annoying. Because that was teasing, but it's kind of annoying. I mean, I have a whole group of people looking at me and he's going to make them all small and where I can't find them. He thought, so belly laughing, he thought he was funnier than what he actually was. As he's walking up, I feel the need to stand up straight, like to stretch out. He was tall. You know, okay, so I will tell you that since I was he a bully, he stopped me. But I'm very particular. I cannot stand a bully. I cannot. I grew up in backwoods Louisiana, and it was the survival of the fittest. I tried to move past that, but you put a bully around me, I'm going to go right back to that backwoods Louisiana girl, and I'm going to have to slam someone's face in the pavement. And so as I was trying to call him, I was about to say bullying. He's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, so maybe he wasn't a bully, but he was very annoying with his teasing. He is showing me a tattoo. Is that your tattoo or someone else's tattoo? It's his tattoo. He has tattoos. But he wasn't All right. Miss Alyssa, you said that sounds like your brother?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can. Perfect.
Yes, I'm getting chills. It sounds exactly like him.
Okay, very good.
Tattoos.
Okay, so now, honestly, my client wouldn't know this. If I was reading her one-on-one, she wouldn't know what's going through my head. Well, actually, no, if we were one-on-one, it would be fine, but we're in a group. So do I think it's her brother? Absolutely. He confirmed it because he made her have chills. So I want a little more information though, honestly. Like I'm like, okay, I think we're with the right person. She got chills. Now y'all wouldn't know normally that I was thinking this if I was just doing a normal group reading, but I'm going back to this guy as like, tell me something else. He's letting me know, Alyssa, that he had a very bright future ahead of him and he started getting off track and hanging out with the wrong person and making bad choices. And it completely derailed his life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He is taking full responsibility for that. And when I asked him, why are you taking responsibility for that? Like, why are we even discussing that? He showed me the picture of a family and I heard infighting. So then I go back, would it resonate with you that there are some people in your family who maybe not out and out say, this is your fault. They make innuendos about trying to blame people in the family.
Yes.
Spirits don't waste information. I knew the second he started saying, this is my fault, he's taking responsibility for a reason. I asked him why, and that's what he said. He said he had full capacity to make, now he's getting a little bit philosophical. I tell people a lot that, in my mentorship program, when people come to me, I cannot tell you how many people want to tell other people how to act. Talk about ego, right? You're taking away someone's free will. If their free will is to be an asshole, if their free will is to be a drug addict, that's their free will. You can talk to them. You can try to get them help. But at the point you fixate on it and start changing yourself because you can't get this thought circle out of your head, you're in your ego. Does that make sense to everyone? And that's what he's showing me, is that people had talked to him. People tried to help him. It was his own free will to not accept that help. Jess, are you getting something? I see you. I actually saw a spark go off. I was going across my screen and I did. I saw a spark go off.
Me?
Yeah, behind your head.
Okay. I'm getting a ton of things and they could be wrong, but you tell me to just not ignore them.
Yep,
I'm
don't
getting,
ignore.
like right away, like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Like I feel like you guys all tried to help him, but he wouldn't, obviously what Christy's saying, but I kept hearing that phrase in my head.
You know what, Jess? I want to stop you for a second. I heard that exact phrase and didn't say it. Now you heard that exact phrase. So now let's go to Alyssa. Did someone in your family say that exact phrase?
Yes.
Because I heard that exact phrase and I didn't say it. I just kind of delivered the meaning of it. You said that exact phrase. So when he gave you that exact phrase, I was like, oh, someone said those exact words.
Yeah. Yes. And like, I think it's dropping in a lot of my own personal and my family's personal experiences, but you can't blame yourself because that was his, like, as Christy was saying, but it's bringing like an emotional part to me right now because I've been part of that my whole life, watching others suffer, and you try and you try and you have to let them go. And they don't do it on purpose. It's not that he wanted to hurt. Like that's the vibe that I'm getting. It's just, it's a disease. And it's making me like, right now, because that's the feeling that you get when you have a disease and you know better, but you can't help it. And I'm getting like this like pit in my stomach, almost like he knew better, but he was so far gone. And now my uncle's dropping in, who was addicted to things and died not because of that. And he's like, yeah, I feel like Uncle Jerome, the Christy, who's always around. He's
Oh.
present. I don't know if he's present, but I can feel him being like, yep, me too.
And so, Alyssa, does it resonate with you that he is showing me kind of distancing himself from the family because of exactly what Jess was saying? How Jess was saying how he wanted to do better and there was guilt. Like he showed me feeling guilty about his choices and moving himself away from the family because he knew he was letting y'all down and y'all did not judge him. Y'all didn't say he was letting you down. That was his own personal thoughts about it. He knew he was better than that. He knew he was making the wrong choices. He was feeling guilty and distanced himself.
Yes, absolutely. You've described him to a T.
Aw. Yeah, I
now-
feel this pit. Yeah.
Yeah. Before I usually close down a reading, not always, usually I will real quick ask a spirit. Sometimes I get it quickly and sometimes not. At this point, especially in a group reading, if I don't get it fast, I move on without saying it. But I did ask him, how do you show your family you're around? Oh, he's talking about the electronics. That's right. I forgot I made a note of that. Yes, he was the one who was messing with my electronics. He messes with y'all's electronics, all of them. So I said, oh, which electronics do you mess with? He showed me, like he laid out my plethora of my laptop, my iPad, my phone. He laid it all out. Oh, he also just made a light flicker. He also makes sure someone's lights flicker.
Yep. I just
Okay.
heard like giving you shit. That's what I heard. Giving you shit.
That's my brother. I have chills.
heard, oh my God, yeah, because I randomly heard in my head giving you shit like
Yep.
Southern.
Yep.
All right, Miss Alyssa, where are y'all from?
I'm in Texas.
What part?
Brownwood. I grew up in Brownwood, Texas.
Is that on the east side or?
Near Abilene, Stephenville, little bitty town, Brownwood.
Okay, very good. Because it just occurred to me whenever I heard your accent that he was very much early on when I was like, I grew up in backwoods Louisiana, blah, blah, blah. He was putting me there. Like he was giving me the sights and the sounds and the smells of what it was like to grow up in the country of Louisiana. Like not the country, but out in the country.
I just have
We're not like Texas. The Louisiana people don't want to secede. We're very happy being part of the union. We don't want to be our own country, not like those Texans do.
Oh my gosh. Did he have a motorcycle? I'm just wondering.
That's funny because we rode a lot of four-wheelers.
Okay.
And there's a picture of me and him when we were little and back in the 80s. We didn't wear helmets and stuff, but there's a picture of me and him.
Okay.
Was it a four-wheeler or was it a three-wheeler? Remember those?
A four-wheeler.
Remember the three-wheelers? I don't know who's old enough for that. Those were back.
Oh yeah.
They were dangerous. See, we got some three-wheeler people here. I mean, that was dangerous. They stopped making them. I think they did.
I know.
All right.
Cool.
Now, what happens now is there's a couple of things how I go on to the next spirit. I either will energetically push it out or I will just tap and say who wants to step forward. Now, honestly, what I said was, haven't we had men? Do I have a woman over there? Can I have a woman? And a gentleman stepped up and said, nope, sorry. Okay, so we have a gentleman stepping up. He's letting me know just the way he said that. It was like, no, sorry. He was a nice guy. So to get the personalities, I take that the way he's answered that has been a nice guy. So yes, you will get a lot more information, but the first thing you get, kind of take it and expand on it. Okay, you were a nice guy. Like, how nice were you? I know that he's laughing at how I'm trying to describe. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you what he showed me. That he went to church every Sunday. So whenever I said, you went from nice to church every Sunday, dude, going to church every Sunday don't prove diddly squat. And he's laughing at me and he's like, I know. But that's where he took me. So this gentleman was in church every Sunday. He also had, I don't know if it was a leadership role, but he definitely helped. He is showing me being ushering, passing the plate, helping new families. Like he knew everyone that was in this church because he is showing me someone walking in the door. He identifies that they are a new family and he's going to greet them and welcome them. This man did have a beautiful heart. He really did. He was not judgmental. He must have been through it in his life, because he is showing me he was kind of the voice of reason, where when someone started trying to judge someone, oh gosh, he just dropped it in that verse. Be the first one to cast a stone. Jesus is with the, they're wanting to stone that person, and Jesus is stepping up and saying, now he's teasing me. And he said, so how he could get that message to that memory, so, and give me that story so quickly, because I know it. I've done more Bible studies than most people. And so he's like, I started just pulling those Bible references right out. That's right, dude. Pull away. So he was that kind of person where he would counsel people. It's like, you know what? None of us are perfect. Don't be judging. None of us are perfect. He is showing me that he also served in the military. He's not showing me that he retired or he was in it for a long time, because he popped me in the uniform, like out in that uniform and out. He was just in it for a very short time. He's also letting me know, I feel something in the chest. Like all of a sudden, I'm feeling something in the chest here. I'm feeling very tight. I'm having a hard time breathing. And also towards the end of his life, I feel like I'm bent over a little bit. Not like hugely bent over, but I feel like I'm just bent over a little bit. This is right at the end, right towards the end. Also, as I'm bent over and walking, I'm shuffling my feet just a little. Okay, does this gentleman sound familiar to anyone?
That sounds like my grandfather, like completely.
Okay. So now I was being taken to the part of my screen, and I was about to say, okay, I'm about to call somebody out. And in that part of my screen is Alyssa, and I don't know, it's iPhone is what your name is on the thing, but you're wearing the white tank top. Yes, you just did this. Yes. Unmute yourself for a second. There you
Hello.
go. What's
Hi.
your name?
Michelle.
Michelle. Does this gentleman sound familiar to you at all?
At first he did, and then when you said the hunchback and the shuffling, no.
Hold tight. Don't unmute yourself.
Okay.
Caitlin, maybe my grandfather was in the military for 3 months. He had also passed from, okay. So where is Caitlin on my screen? Bottom left. Oh, okay. Miss Caitlin, if you want to be read, you have to have your picture on. I'm sorry, Alyssa, I know it sounded like your grandfather and there were probably a lot of similarities, but I just knew, like, as I was tapping into you, I was like, the energy's not right. Okay, so hold tight, Miss Caitlin. So for Michelle, you were saying that in the beginning?
Yes, in the beginning, my father went to church all the time. When we would go on vacation, he would pick a church. We would have to find a church before we found a hotel, because that was back before computers and all that. But then the military, he couldn't, he wanted to go, but I think he tried to go, but then he couldn't. But then I'm sorry?
Was he flat-footed?
Possibly, but that wasn't the why. It was more of a hand issue.
Oh.
His hand was like this. Hang on a minute. Let me think. His hand was like this. But he was young. There was no shuffling or anything like that.
Okay, so the reason I'm saying is for it to match so well in the beginning, for to shift off. I definitely have Caitlin's. So hang tight, Caitlin. I definitely have your grandfather. What happened though, as I said, okay, got Caitlin's grandfather, there was so much energy coming from Michelle. I was like, something's here. So I just said, where's the other spirit? A man came out from behind So I tapped that man and I was trying to like make sure I had two separate spirits before I put one of them on hold and read the other. And so I was just like, okay, give me a tell me something else about you.
That makes
He is
sense.
showing me Michelle being very precise about things, not OCD necessarily, but he is showing me like he'd be walking outside in the yard, like he'd just bend over and pick things up, and his yard had to be just so, and not again, he's showing me he wasn't OCD, but he just likes things in order. Also, was there a certain cafe or restaurant that your mom and dad or family went to regularly?
Yes.
Okay, very good. He made me want to just keep going back to the same restaurant. Okay, so let me explain what happened. Then I'm going to finish with Michelle's dad, and then I'm going to pop down to Caitlin's grandpa. So when you have a group, it doesn't happen when you're reading one-on-one. It happens when you're in groups, because there's one of me, a lot of you. He knows I'm not done. Spirits are trying to step up. So whenever this gentleman stepped up, I was just so being drawn to Michelle. I almost wanted to just read to her. So much energy around her. Then all of a sudden, I did start getting information. Like I could tell, I don't know, is the energy changing here or whatever? And then she's like, okay, so I know I have someone that belongs to Michelle here. And then she's like, nope. And Caitlin said, my grandfather. So I had two spirits. And I was getting overlapping information. And so I just said, separate. They separated. But since I had already given information and identified Caitlin's grandfather, I needed more information to make sure I did have Michelle's dad. Evidence. It's called evidential mediumship. Okay.
Can I say something?
Yes.
When you said about the backyard or the yard and picking up things, he owned a nursery.
Oh.
But I didn't want to interrupt you, and I just got the chills when you were saying that. Because he owned a nursery in his backyard.
Very good. So sometimes I thought it was honestly weird. Why is this guy showing me picking things up out of his yard? Who cares? We all pick up things out of his yard. But it was so precise in my clairvoyance. I knew I needed to say it, because a lot of times when you're saying things, it means something to people. And
Thank
okay,
you.
Michelle, your mom is still on planet?
Just passed 9 months ago. It's funny because when I was sitting here, I I heard my mom say, count how many months I've been gone. And I didn't know why.
Yeah. All right. Very good. So your parents were together. They did not divorce. Is that correct?
No, not divorced, but they were, my dad died 35 years before my mom.
Very good. Now, the reason I said that is because whenever I was just real quick, I thought, go get her fast. We're out of time. So, and I still have to read Caitlin's grandfather. So, the lady came up and I just felt melting of love.
Yep.
You know what your dad is like, he patted her arm and he said, she's such a strong woman. Though they had a beautiful love, your mom, he shows me picking herself up, like gluing herself back together to go on in a fashion that she could still show up for other people.
She was only 45, Christy, when she lost her husband and my dad. So it was hard for her.
He is showing me, and I'm getting chills as I'm saying this, not just like she had to show up at that point because she still had people depending on her. But there's a difference, Michelle, in showing up as a shell and showing up as a vibrant member of your family. And your mom did it well. She was broken on the inside. She was devastated.
More than we thought.
Oh my goodness. She is showing me, I'm going to the bathroom. I'll be right back. I got to go potty. And that's the words I'm hearing. She goes to the bathroom and cries. Take a deep breath and comes back out. She's
I felt, well, you had to be her mom for the first few years.
Mhm.
Like the roles switched.
Yes.
Mhm.
But she made the decision, your mom did, that she couldn't do that anymore. Like whenever your dad, how do I explain this? I want to make sure I get the words right. So your dad passed, and she saw that you were having to do everything. Now, she wasn't saying it, but it's more like that you were having to do this, you were having to do this. And then she found herself, and this was a slap in the face. She found herself expecting it of you. She found herself expecting you to cater to her grief. And when she realized that that was the expectation she was having of her children, she's like, I don't want to go to the grave with them knowing my expectation was for them to cater to my grief.
That's so true. She just wanted to, like, it was all about her, and then we needed to cater to her. I can't even believe you're saying this, because that's just amazing.
And then she decided that's not what she wanted the memory to be. That she wanted the memory to be of her loving y'all and making an effort.
She tried in her own way,
Yeah.
but then yeah, she tried in her own way, and then it was almost not too late, but
It was.
okay.
What she is showing me is
I don't want to hurt her feelings.
no, you're not going to you don't hurt spirit's feelings. They know, they can see it. So what she is showing me is I was managing a business at one point, and it was kind of a little business on base. It had been in a lot of trouble. They called me in to kind of fix it. I have a master's in business. And so there was one of the ladies that volunteered there. Her husband was a retired general. So I don't know if y'all know that. That's pretty high up in the military. I walked into the break room. He said, Christy, I just want to let you know you're doing a really good job. I was like, you know what? It's taken forever. And he said, it's like driving a submarine. I don't get it. He said, when you're in a submarine, you make a tiny correction and eventually it changes course. So that analogy in regards to your mom is she was trying to make those small corrections, but it was so hard for her because she's showing me, I don't know why Spirit is giving me water and boat references today. I'm not even a water and boat person.
Oh, I do.
Why is that?
I do. She had they had a house on the water, and it was their favorite thing, but she was fearful of everything. So she didn't want to go on the boat, and she didn't go on the water. And everybody was like, you have a cottage on the water. But she was fearful. So she had my dad's hand, arm on one hand and a broom on the other, and walking to the water onto the boat. And I think she might have only did it once.
Very good. All right. So I'll leave that with you. To recap, she understands how badly she screwed up. She was so deep in her grief.
That you don't know how much that means to me. You don't know how much that means to me. Because my whole life, I tried to prove to her, but she just couldn't see it.
No, that is exactly right. She couldn't see it because all she was looking through was the lens of her grief. And then it turned her into a person she wasn't. It turned her into a very self-centered, this is about me and my grief.
Yes, she thought that she was the only one that lost a husband. She thought she was the only one that lost someone.
Right.
No one knew what she was going through, but we all lost. I was 19, turning 20 when I lost my father, but it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Christy.
Of course. Thank you, Michelle. Okay, Miss Caitlin, unmute yourself.
I'm going to mute myself.
Okay, so now this is your grandfather who was in the military for 3 months. That was so perfect how he showed me, because I couldn't figure out what he was saying, and it makes sense because he wasn't showing me, he wasn't standing there in the military and letting me know, oh, I did my 4 years, whatever it was, and got out. He like popped himself into that uniform and was out. Boom, boom.
Yes, and I didn't even know that until I did an ancestry lookup on him.
I love it. Okay, so for everyone watching, this is one of those times that Spirit just gave me something I had never seen before. I've never had a spirit do that, like pop into a uniform and pop out, like boom, boom. But that was the cusp and it had so many layers to just that little piece of information. It was so directed towards Caitlin. Not only was it about he was in the military for just a short time, Caitlin is the one who discovered it. By doing so, such beautiful information he gave to prove who he was. He was a very patient guy. Now, I'm not saying he was in his early life, so you have to think about who he was. He was very patient. How do I know that? Just how patiently he was standing there the entire time I was reading Michelle. Not once did I feel any like anxious energy. Not once did I feel him kind of getting antsy about when you're going to get to me. He was very quietly and lovingly letting Michelle have her moment. Because though I wouldn't have let him interrupt, spirits will tell me I can know their personality just because he would have started making it antsy, and I would have had to have been like, dude, wait, dude, wait, dude, wait. Y'all wouldn't have heard me say that, but that's the way it would have been going on in the spirit world. Now, Caitlin, real quick, he is instantly going over to, for one thing, you're extremely intuitive. He is saying you get a lot of information from spirit.
I take your Divine Collective class.
Oh, I didn't even know. I was about to mention that. I was like, I don't know if you're involved in my Divine Collective, but
Yes.
yeah. So the Divine Collective, I'll say it again, is a community. You go to my website, Christy Godwin Psychic Medium Divine Collective, you click it. It is free until September. If you use the code FREE, FREE, and apply it, it's free until September. We have once a month, we do a group reading like this. We have once a month, we have a teaching. The first teaching in August is going to be the Dark Night of the Soul. You have journal prompts. There's a meditation. There's a chat going on. And so last time I showed everyone at the meeting how to use a pendulum and how to answer yes/no questions with just pendulum. So now if you go to our chat, you'll see people saying, I have a yes/no question, and then everyone answering it. So that's fun. And then also people want to start reading cards. And so we're starting a little bit of that. You can participate as much in all those things or as little as all those things, but I wanted to create a community for people who are seeking, needing support, and really don't have anyone to talk to about these things. Okay. So that being said, he's also showing me that I'm just going to tell you what he's saying, and hopefully it resonates, Caitlin, because it's kind of odd. He's saying people around you don't understand you.
Yes, that is 1000% true.
Really? I felt uncomfortable saying it because you seem like a very normal girl. Hey, oh, okay. So here we go. This is where spirit takes you on. I just follow the way spirit is talking. He's doing kind of an advanced message here. The reason I say that is because he's bringing a lot of concepts that not everyone believes in. If I say something that doesn't fit with your belief system, please let it go. You are an extremely old soul, Caitlin. You will have a lot of deja vu moments. Have you noticed that you'll have a lot of deja vu moments?
Yes.
Those moments are not necessarily deja vu in that you have done that exact same thing. But when you have those moments, pay attention to the lesson you can be learning in that moment. Because old souls, and also something that will happen when you're in a very old soul, is you will feel like you have lived, maybe not now because you're kind of young, but by the time you leave this planet, you have felt like you have lived many lifetimes in one. It's like you'll be one person, you learn the lessons you need to be in that person, shut it down, you morph into someone different. Physically, of course, you're the same.
I feel like that now. I've talked about that in therapy.
Oh, very good. So now when spirits bring up something that is multifaceted like that, there's a couple of things. For one thing, Caitlin is accurate. Probably when you're telling your therapist that, you probably felt a little uncomfortable doing it. Like,
yeah, I felt like I was crazy. Like, why do I feel like I'm a different person than how I used to be? Like my personality is the same, but I feel like I'm two separate people.
right. And this, people, is why I have created the Divine Collective. No one should be walking around this earth feeling like they're crazy. Your grandfather said, are you sure? Well, we're not getting into that. So your grandfather saying that was multifaceted, showing that, yeah, you are correct, and that he is around you. The fact that I was saying it pretty, he's saying almost exactly how you worded it to your therapist. So that's telling me that he is around you. Also, he is telling me, okay, very good. He sends the doves. Now, I hesitated because I was about to say doves. No one sees doves. I said this to someone a while back, and I need to put, actually, I asked her if I could use her email for an advertisement, so I need to do that. But I said, you know, I don't know. This guy's telling me he's sending you doves. I know that we don't get doves around here. She sent me a picture of this bird that had been right outside her window. It was gray, and she Googled it. It was a baby mourning dove.
Yes, I see those everywhere that I live.
I did not even know those were a thing. Learn something new from Spirit all the time. Your grandfather's taking responsibility for sending those.
And I've noticed that. I've noticed that I see them so often. I'm like, are they just all here? Like where I live? Like they'll just fly in front of my car like all the time. And I'm like, are there just a million of these where I live?
Yeah, your grandfather's laughing when you said that, and he's doing this like, I'm gathering them for her. I'm gathering them for her. Not really. He's being funny. He's also saying for you to stay true to your path. There's something that you've been wanting to do in a path you've been wanting to go down, and it feels educational, but you're afraid of what people will think. Do you know what he's talking about?
Yes, that's funny because I was on one of your lives and you did a reading for me with my brother, and my brother said the same thing. Like, you think you're not smart enough to go back to school, but you are. So that definitely makes sense to me.
All right, very good. Thank you, Miss Caitlin, for letting me read your grandfather.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. I appreciate all the spirits who stepped up today. I just want to say they did a really good job. Thank you, Holcomb Jet or Foster.
Whatever. Yeah, I'm the other
Foster.
Jess. I'm good. You're welcome.
Foster.
Foster.
I know her by her married name, so it's gonna be I'll get it right though.
Well, just it's either way. I know who you're talking to.
You did a really good job.
Well, thank you. And my back stopped hurting. So thanks. I'm sorry, other Jess, you're feeling pain, but
And Spirit will do that. Don't worry. If spirits makes you feel things, they take it with them. Like the other day I was reading, someone's like, oh my gosh, my head is hurting. And it had to do with how they had passed and what was wrong. And it leaves. It leaves. All right. So we have any last minute questions?
I do. Can you say your email slower for the divine
Okay,
class?
that's on my website.
Or website, I'm sorry.
Yes, it's Christy Godwin Psychic Medium. Let me show you what you're going to see when you go there. And
Okay.
up at the top, according to if you're on a computer or a phone, I'm going to show you phone view. If you're on a computer, it goes across. If you're on a phone, you have to hit that hamburger. Does everyone know what a hamburger is?
No, I'm on an iPad.
Oh, you're on an iPad. It's going to come across pretty much like it is on my computer. So you're going.
It came across, but now it went away. I was
this
gonna
is
take.
what my website looks like.
Can I take a picture of it? I'm old school.
I don't know if you can get that.
You got to bring it up a little bit. Oh, okay.
I don't know. Can y'all see that?
I think it's
oh,
blurry.
there it goes.
Oh, wait. Yeah, she had it.
So also, wherever you went to register for this is where you go to register for the Divine Collective. And so then you would click this hamburger. When you click those three things, that's where it drops down, and you just click on Divine Collective.
Okay, thank you.
Of course, of course. All right.
And thank you for reading my parents. I truly appreciate that.
Of course. Any other last minute questions? What? Someone does? No, that's it. Felt like there was something I was going to say and it left me. Oh, you put the website in the chat. Oh, my husband moderator, the Ken person, that guy. My website in the chat. All right, so I hope to be seeing y'all around on my Divine Collective, or I'm not sure when I'll do another one of these. Maybe I try to do it every couple of months, something like that. We will be doing the next meeting we have in the Divine Collective. I will be doing another reading like this. All right. Thank y'all for coming today.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.